Between the long days of staring at your computer screen at the office and scrolling through your social media, all that screen time can have a negative effect on your eyes, as we know. Well, digital eye strain affects 6 out of 10 American workers and increases the likelihood of experiencing dry eye syndrome. While there's no cure for the dry eye disease, there are simple solutions to find relief from dry eye solutions, and that's where Dr. Laura Periman comes in to help us make sure that we are not having that dry eye syndrome, especially in the morning time when I'm working. You know, I look at the screen and stuff, then I have to go on the air, doctor, and my eyes are dry. So let's talk about this, because I'm looking at the numbers right now. Nearly 44 million Americans suffer from dry eye syndrome. What is this? And talk about how we are going to stop having the dry eye syndrome.
Well, it sounds like you're living dry eyes, and I am too. I'm a sufferer myself. And 44 million is a lot of people, right? I think that's probably a low estimate, frankly. But we do think that there are several lifestyle factors that contribute to the development of dry eye disease. And one of them is screen time. And now I realize that's, people's livelihood. So we got to figure out ways to get around it, right? So it turns out when you're looking at a screen, the blink frequency goes down by about half. Your blink is critically important for spreading your tears and re-wetting your cornea. When your blink frequency goes down, there's the opportunity for the cornea to dry out, and that sets up the situation where chronic dry eye disease can occur. Now, here's some things you can do at your computer to help. Lower your computer screen. When you're in slight down gaze, that lowers the surface area of evaporation of your tears. Get a desktop humidifier. Make sure the AC vent isn't blowing right in your eyes. Stay well hydrated. And finally, take breaks. Look in the distance, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and you can get right back to work. That little bit of a break can help just reset everything, re-wet your cornea. And then we can talk about some of the other strategies for addressing the symptoms associated with dry eye.
Yeah, all right, so let's talk about that, because I know people think about getting glasses, they do different things, but what are some of the things that we can do to, of course, prevent dry eye syndrome?
Right. So you need to take care of yourself, right? It always comes down to the just basic self-care. The 5 pillars of wellness is how I coach my patients, and that is get good sleep, stay well hydrated, to practice what I preach. Got a big water bottle right here. And practice good nutrition. Burgers and fries are not the key to healthy, happy eyes, right? Take those breaks that we talked about. That's mindfulness. And then move your body, just a little bit more exercise in your day. Park a little further from the door. Those sorts of things all count. Those are the basic things. And then we need to start talking about some simple over-the-counter options. Make sure when you're using the computer that you are using your glasses instead of your contact lenses. That can help as well. Make sure you remove your makeup at night, and those things can help reduce the risk of dry eye disease as well.
Got it. All right. You said something kind of important there, and that is, of course, drops. So how do we know which drops to get? Because there's so many different ones on the shelf.
Right. It's overwhelming. You go to that section of the store and it's like, oh my gosh, where do you even start? So a lot of compassion for that. I suffer dry eye myself. It is an overwhelming section. But I'll give you some cliff notes on what to look for to help make that a little easier when you go into that section of the store. You're going to look for a brand called Systane Complete Preservative-Free Lubricant Eyedrops. And there's several things that make this drop special for addressing dry eye symptoms. One, it provides rapid hydration of that sensitive eye. It has nanolipid particles to help reduce the evaporative load of the eye. And recent studies show that you can get up to 8 hours of dry eye symptom relief with a single drop. So you get a lot in this mighty little package with that particular product.
Wow, that's very important right there to know about. What else are some things we need to know very quickly? I know we got to wrap up. Gosh, I want to talk more. We have to wrap up. But what else some things we need to know about taking care of our dry eye syndromes?
Right. So we talked about those basic self-care things. When you start having more and more problems, or you're still having symptoms despite these measures and Systane Complete Preservative-Free Lubricant Eye Drops, please see your eye doctor. There's many, many treatment options available, and more coming available all the time that we can layer on top of the lubricant eye drop. And all of these things work quite synergistically.
I love it. Doctor, this is so important information. I think it's great because, again, I suffer from it, from coming in the morning and doing stuff. So where can I find more information about what we talked about?
Right. So for more information on dry eye disease and what makes Systane Complete Preservative-Free Lubricant Eye Drop special, simply visit Systane.com, and that's Systane.com.
Perfect. Doctor, thank you very much for joining this morning. Thank you for these tips.
You're welcome.